I'm going to say within 2 to 3 months ago, I was really heavily focused on this nonsense of a stock market we had. I named numerous companies from Twitter to Tesla, to Snapchat, the new Snapchat IPO. Oh, it's worth, I don't even remember the number now. It's $20-30 billion, IPO. Hasn't made a profit yet. Doesn't look like it's going to make a profit. Maybe even ever. Oh, another chat program, just what the world needed. And I said, look at this insanity. It was, came in and what was the price? Opens at $24. Is that what it was? Oh no, IPO at $17. What was it at? Anyways, let me get right into this. This absolute turd. There's no value here whatsoever. And I think the markets have finally figured it out. Zero Hedge is calling it SNAPgeddon. SNAPgeddon. SNAPgeddon it. Come on, get in it. SNAPgeddon strikes. Stock, as in Snap stock, falls below the IPO price, down 40% from the nonsensical highs that we saw with it. Well, that escalated quickly, says Zero Hedge, just 4 months after its magnificently lauded IPO, proving to every Bob, Dick, and Mary on business media that this time is different and everything's awesome. Snap has collapsed to below its IPO price and is down 42% from its post-IPO highs. Snap IPO'd at $17 and opened at $24, trading up as high as $29.44. Today, it traded down to $16.95. We are reminded of Dennis Gartman's recent epic rant against the company he calls a time-sapping hobby, a diversion. He says, finally, is there anything in the investment world less investable than Snap? This is a company losing millions of dollars per month, whose product is the ability to create funny pictures of friends that can be sent via the net and messages that disappear soon after having been transmitted. I think I made fun of that myself. I said, do you guys remember the cartoon or whatever it was, and, do Inspector Gadget, do. And every time his boss would come and give him the secret, he'd be hiding like in a garbage can or like a locker, hidden in there, and Inspector Gadget would get the note and he'd read it, his special assignment. And then he'd ball it up and throw it, warning, this message will self-destruct. So he'd throw it, and he would always throw it back where his damn boss was, and they'd blow him up, That's what this is. He'd send you a funny text, goes over there and blows up into the ether. Gone. Oh, this is a multi-billion dollar company. You guys have created, I always refer to the movie Elf. Congratulations! World's best cup of coffee, you did it! Great job. No, it's the world's worst cup of coffee. Congratulations, you've created an app where you can send someone another picture and then it disappears right after they get it. Congratulations! For an epic fail of a company, yet IPO'd worth billions in this insane, upside-down world. This is the world we live in. Oh. This is utter nonsense. This is not a business. This is a time-sapping hobby, a diversion, a silly little waste of aggregated time that could be spent profitably, but which is spent stupidly instead, he said. I want to take that sentence and prove it so right it can't get any righter. Time that could be spent profitably. You probably won't, you know where I'm going next. What could I or you as an individual these days, the last 2 months even, and today and tomorrow and the next day even, do with our time quite possibly profitably as opposed to stupidly? The word cryptocurrency, ICO, etc. comes to mind. Nah, I don't want to focus on that. I want to pull out my phone and send a self-destructed message to, Inspector Gadget. Maybe their stock will jump. Breaking news. Every time you send a message now, at the end of the message, we've stolen something from Inspector Gadget. It now reads, this message will self-destruct. Not to worry, it won't self-destruct. It'll just have an, what do you call it, a CGI, a graphic that looks like it's blowing up, and poof, it's gone. Breaking news, stock up 10% today. Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, I'm going to spend my time on there all day. I mean, stupidly, as he says. So, morons, go ahead and play that game. Smart people, get into cryptos, get into some other thing where you can actually make some money, do something, again, productive. Although we know that teenagers and adults who think of themselves as teenagers love this silly little app. But it simply is an app. And a silly one at that. Is anyone with a rational investment horizon and a sense of history of investment surprised by the fact that since having gone public at $24 a share, Snap's shares have gone at best sideways and last evening fell 30% on disappointing sales and eyeball counts? Again, as Herb Stein said, that which can't continue won't. Snapped in the investment world is a bit better place for its having done so. We trust we are clear. Oh, they're kind of brutal on Snap. Poor Snap. But I've done my fair share too. When it first came out, I couldn't believe what I was watching. This is not real. This can't be. Up again. Up again. Pump and dump of epic proportions is what this is. What is perhaps even more amusing is that despite the stock crashing to all-time lows, the bulk of sell-side analysts, most of whom came out of such strong support of Snap when it IPO'd, in gratitude for being on the underwriting syndicate, have maintained their bullish positions. Finally, as adventuresinCapitalism.com notes, back in 2000, as the tech bubble was popping, I made a fortune by shorting recent IPOs right as previously restricted shares were unlocked for sale. These companies came public with only a small percentage of the stock sold in the initial IPO in order to create scarcity and an overvalued stock price. 6 months later, a waterfall of stock would hit the markets as the rest of the outstanding shares became free trading. The restricted shares were coming from VC funds and insiders, and these individuals often had cost basis measured in pennies or a tiny fraction of the current share price. Meanwhile, the insiders knew deep down that the companies were obscenely overvalued. Therefore, at their first opportunity to sell, they hit the bid, often with reckless abandon, as they were trying to beat all other sellers out the door. The result was that over a few weeks period, the share price would collapse. I previously wrote about how this worked on Twitter. The difference was that at the time, the bubble in all things social media was alive and well. So Twitter shares bounced back after a proper drubbing during the unlock. I believe that the FANG bubbles, Amazon, Google, etc., bubble is now in the process of popping. This means that buyers are no longer willing to prop up silly valuations, which will create incredible opportunities as this decade's unicorns come public and then experience unlocks, much like in the aftermath of the 2000 bubble. Snap Inc. is the next of these unicorns to unlock. It is also one of the most ridiculously overvalued stocks in the market today, despite a market cap of, this is really sickening, $25 billion. It consistently loses more money each quarter. Even the most bullish analysts, the ones who dumped this IPO on the public, do not expect profits until at least 2021. The year, that is. They, meanwhile, expect losses at approximately $1 billion during the next 2 years before these losses slow. This is scary, as cash is rapidly dwindling due to ongoing losses in acquisitions. They're going to need to raise additional capital soon. Even worse, growth appears to be slowing as other social sites introduce competing products. It's one thing if you're burning money to rapidly grow your business. It's a very different thing if you're having a bonfire and not even growing fast any longer. In any case, the only reason the share price is where it is the fact that the free trading float is currently restricted. That will all change starting on July 29th, when the first of 3 unlocks begins and over 1 billion shares become free trading. I suspect that these will be dumped on the market as rapidly as possible in order to exit positions before the quarter's bloodbath of earnings. I do not short stocks any longer, but I occasionally buy puts when it appears there's a great setup. This is a crowded trade, but I'm not sure if it matters. I'm long snap puts with enough duration to see this waterfall of stock hit the tape. I would not be surprised if the shares trade for the mid-single digits by year's end. Whoa. So, yeah, about that whole Snapchat, man. You got Snapchat? Not only do I not have it, I will never have it. I never even once went on the Google App Store. Let me put it on Google Play, man. Put it on my phone. Gotta have a Snapchat. Or not, you guys got Snap? You use Snapchat? No. And don't you dare ask me to ever get it. If it was required, Joe, we got this guy, wants to do a great interview, real well-known guy, wants to do an interview on Realist News. Can you pull him in? Yeah. What's his Skype? Gotta do Skype. Oh, he doesn't do Skype. He only does Snapchat. I know that you couldn't really do that, but just follow me for a second. He only does Snapchat. He's actually willing to pay you big bucks too. Rip. Pay me big bucks to have him on my channel? Really? I was gonna do it for free. Oh, he's using Snap and I have to use Snap? Nah. Tell him I love him. Sorry, I'm gonna pass on that. Let him know it's because not him, I love him. It's his Snapchat. I love you, not your Snapchat. Snapchat's gotta go, buddy. Okay? That's how I'd feel about that. Take care.